Hello, good
Hi there.
afternoon. Welcome on in. We're ready for another match. Hopefully, you joined us this morning and watched us just absolutely annihilate the good basic, but otherwise, go back and watch the replay. It was
Yeah.
good fun.
We had some very good practice. Also, we have to play a game tomorrow, so that was our kind of practice game for tomorrow. But yeah, we played a good game against Frank and Hannah. If you watched it, you'll notice that we did total domination. We predicted total domination, and we brought total domination. So we slammed them hard. Frank went out crying. He's at home. He's preparing for tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully, we didn't ruin him for our own match tomorrow. But
Yeah.
Hannah played a great stone. She's going to get shot of the match. That one's going to look for that video to come out pretty soon, probably Monday. But it's she played a great shot, squeezed it right in there. Hard to argue with that. But yeah, lots of fun. But we got another doubles match going on right now. It's going to be P² against Maan Rocks.
This is going to be one of the most confusing double games we're going to have in the Belgian league. And there are lots of reasons why this is going to be a confusing game. But luckily, there is commentary. We're going to try and help you out and figure out which team is who and which Pieter is which Pieter and why they're so look-alike. We'll try to figure it out along we go. I think they're trying to force a hashtag John's wrong here in the game.
Probably. I'm going to get one of them wrong. So the good thing is with P², they're both named Pieter. So hence P². Two Pieters. So we don't have to worry about which one is which on the scoreboard. That's it. So as long as I know. But then they decided to confuse us even further. They've put on uniforms from different teams. So both teams are dressed exactly the same. They have one member from each team wearing a same sweater as another one or same jacket. And so it's not like they all look the same. We'll get it. But yeah, we're going to have some interesting looks out there. They did that on purpose. They're just messing with us. We know these guys all. We play with like Andres from Maan Rocks and Pieter, Tall Pieter from P², played with us on the Take-Out Tigers. But Pieter is also the coach of...
The tall Pieter.
Tall Pieter is also the coach of Daddy's School, where the short Pieter and Mats come from. So they both be playing together. So
yeah, it's confusing. So indeed, a rollback. Basically, you have a doubles game, and we have two players competing against two players, and we have Pieter and Pieter versus Andres and Mats. Pieter and Pieter is P², Andres and Mats, or Mats and Andres. They are Maan Rocks to get it correct, and they play in the doubles leagues a bit. They also play in the regular Take-Out Tigers and Daddy's School, and this is where the jerseys come from. But it will make more sense once you see them on the ice. I think if we try to explain it, it's already confusing when I'm trying to hear myself talk about these teams.
I'm just going to call out colors of stones this match. Just forget about trying to get it right just from the uniform. So, but we're looking forward to it. We haven't seen P² at all this season.
Same goes for Maan Rocks. They haven't been on stream at all. Like ever. This is going to be the debut of Maan Rocks on Kurdia, and also the debut of P² on Kurdia TV. So it's a double debut game for these doubles.
So no idea what to expect. We know that if on paper and what we know of these guys, Pieter, Tall Pieter. I'm just gonna say Pieter. You guys will have to figure out which Pieter I'm talking about. Pieter is a stronger player on the ice, strongest player on the ice. So can he carry P² tonight, this afternoon? That's going to be one of the things. And how do Mats and Andres, they're relatively new playing with each other. They don't get to train together a lot. They both tend to play leads on their own team. So you have two leads coming into doubles, which can be helpful because you play a lot of draws as a lead, and in doubles you're playing a lot of draws. So is that going to help them? We know that they tend to have a tendency to switch positions every end. Is that going to create some inconsistency, or is that going to help them focus and figure things out? We don't know. We'll find out.
We'll find out. I think I talked to the guys, and both Pieters, they intend to switch roles every end. So, well,
they will too. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting...
something they decided up front. They see this as training games. Also, for Maan Rocks, they also see this as a kind of learning experience and training experience going into their regular teams, kind of competing in the regular leagues. And I think also interesting to notice, Tall Pieter is coaching Daddy's School and is therefore coaching two of the players. He's coaching his own Pieter, the Pieter on his team, but he's also going to be coaching Mats, the player of Maan Rocks. So he will be kind of taking a coaching role for both teams in the game as well.
Kind of interesting that he's going to be coaching against the team he's playing against. But coaching for a team he's playing against. But we'll see how it works out and how they decide to be competitive or not. We're hoping we're just going to see some good curling, some good stones. I know that's what they want to see as well. Get the feel of the ice. We know that the ice has changed a lot from before. So we had the WCT tournament a couple of weeks back. Changed it, so now the ice draws a lot more, but it's now it seems to be playing quite slow.
Yeah.
So like this morning, we were throwing quite hard to get to the tee line, and we'll see if that carries over at the new, because Gary, we have two different ice makers here. Gary made it this morning. Stefan kind of came in this afternoon and did it. So will there be a big change? I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, but I think your pick of the game, your pick of the day is going to be.
I'm going to take P². I think that Pieter is going to be able to carry this, and he's got a lot more experience, the most experience on the ice as well. He's a former national team player, really quite technically good. So I think he's going to be able, and in doubles, one person can carry a whole end because it's one stone can switch things around or change the whole outlook of the game. So I think I'm going with P² on this one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna follow you today with this analysis, John. I think Pieter is just by far the most experienced and skilled player in this game, being the former national player at Team Verreken and also considered strongest player at Take-Out Tigers. So based on that status, he should be able to carry P² in this game here. Yeah.
You're already confused.
I was already confused, like what team was he playing for again, especially with mixing in Take-Out Tigers and Daddy's Cool. But yeah, that should be one reason. And a second reason why I'm also picking P² over Maan Rocks is this is just the second game for P². They played one game and they lost it, but they lost it against, I think it was Vedi, which they are sitting top in rank. We can have a glance at the rank in a minute here. But then Maan Rocks, for them, it's already the fifth game, and they are sitting on a 4-game losing streak. And that losing streak is also kind of indication that they are not in for the playoffs, and they're sitting bottom of the league, and they're trying to avoid ending last in the group. But yeah, that losing streak is an argument for me to say, well, this is not the strongest team in this group, and maybe they're not going to win this game. I've asked Andres and Mats, how do you rate your ambitions, or how do you kind of do some self estimates? And Andres said, well, hope it's going to be 50-50. I hope it's going to be close up till the final end, but he estimates their options to win 40% against 60% for P² to win. And yeah, I can relate to that estimate, and maybe even a little bit higher for P². So that's why I would say if I would have to put money on this game, I would put my money on the Pieters here.
Yeah, I'm going to bet your house on the Pieters. So
I lost my house so many times. I lost it yesterday. My house is already gone, but luckily I have a lot of other value. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, especially because we have never watched those two teams play. It will be the first time I will be watching Maan Rocks, and it will be the first time I will be watching P². I've known these players from our game, from Take-Out Tigers, Daddy's Cool. I know how Andres plays, I know how Pieter plays, I know how Mats plays. But yeah, seeing them compete in this lineup, that will be new, and that will be very interesting. Also, kind of an interesting combination of players. There are hard to make predictions on team dynamics, but that will show in just a minute here.
Yep. So it looks like they're just about ready to start the LSDs. We could take a look at the schedule and the standings. So
this is the schedule for this weekend. This is the pre-Valentine's weekend. Gives a nice spin to the kind of a nice touch to the weekend. So we had 4 games up till now, 2 doubles games. Then yesterday evening, Curling Stones against SD Rocks. If you haven't watched that game, too bad. The spoilers already here. So. And
you can't spoil a live event that's already over.
That's true.
It's not a movie.
It's not a movie. And then this morning we we won against Hoe Bezig, and therefore we move up in the ranks. And now in the same group, Group A, we have Maan Rocks against P². And if you have a quick glance at the tables, this is the Belgian Curling League doubles Group A, and we can see Vidi and Plastic van Looy. I would say those teams are pretty much sure they're heading for the playoffs. Both teams won all of their games. Vedi even winning 4 out of 4. Those two teams are also considered, let's say, top of this group, candidates for the playoffs, and maybe even candidates to win the doubles championship. So it's too early to tell, but I would have those teams kind of in place for a locked-in position in that top 3. And then the spot for the 3rd position is basically open for a lot of teams. We have Campina, Kurdia, Wiki the Viking, and also P², since this is only their 2nd game. Maybe this is the beginning of a winning streak and they can move up in the rank as well.
Yeah, still lots of the season left for them. So this is going to start to see how they play, what their envisions are. Just noticed on the preview, they did their first LSD inside the button. Really good stone, probably going to be about 10, 15 centimeters. Very nice stone for Maan Rocks to start out with. I think that's going to give them a pretty good edge in the LSDs, but we'll find out when they do their next stone.
This is also the thing with a ranking or a system where some teams have played more matches than others. Then you tend to overvalue or overestimate the qualities of the teams that played a lot of matches and won a lot of matches, and maybe you tend to underestimate the teams that are sitting bottom of the league due to the fact that they just haven't played that much games. I mean, Maan Rocks obviously lost 4 out of 4 games, so they'll probably stick around in the second half of the group, but P², for them, the group is still open. They can still move, and they can still kind of act as the underdog or the dark horse, or kind of do the surprise catch-up. Nobody is watching that team. We all consider like Wiki the Viking or Campina to go for that 3rd position, and we Kurdia, we also kind of hope to sneak and sneak us into that playoffs. But P² is still in the running for that 3rd position as well. So too early to tell.
Anything can happen here.
Yeah, they lost 1 game, and that was against Vedi. So they lost against a top-ranked team. But if they start to win against Plastic van Looy, Campina, Wiki the Viking, they can move up very quickly in this rank.
Yep. So I just saw the 2nd stone kind of went through. So I don't know what the LSDs are. We actually have no idea who's going to have the hammer till they get out on the ice.
Yeah, we'll have to watch and see. I also think that
you got the
I'll fix the goal. So you can talk about a little bit of the standings while I will quickly do some updates.
Yeah, I mean the standings, you see it. We've already talked a lot about it. Looking forward to this match where we're going to be having some. I expect good curling from both sides. I expect to see some really good stones. If tall Pieter leads off for P², I could see him putting quite a lot of pressure on Maan Rocks with the how do you call it? Putting the end in their favor quickly. So
Mats is wearing his Smurf hat today, so that will be easy to recognize the Mats. Mats also a very loyal fan of Kurdia, watching a lot of the streams. So I'm pretty sure he is going to rewatch this game. By looking at how they are setting up the stones, I think Maan Rocks has the hammer. Because wait a minute, it's very confusing in doubles. So Maan Rocks gets to throw the first stone, which means P² has the hammer.
yes. And the hammer gets the advantage to start.
Unless Peter's confused and he has to swap around the stones.
Yeah. Really quick, I want to jump in on something. I have a...
Alright, so while they're setting up the stones, I think we didn't run a poll, but if you're out there, if you're watching the stream, we have chat open, so feel free to ask us questions, make notes, make suggestions, give some feedback, give your expectations of the game, your predictions. If you have opinions of the game, we are very curious to hear about them.
Yeah, if you see a shot you like, go ahead and throw up something in the chat. We will use that. It'll help me when going back and trying to find things. I've got my clicker, but I miss things too. We all have our own opinions about stuff. This one is coming up quite light. So we're gonna have to sweep this one to get it over the hog line, and it's going to come up just over.
Just over. Whew.
Not even in, just the top of the handle in from the long shot there, so you know that means it's quite short.
All right, so again, don't be confused. You will see the jerseys don't match the teams. They decided to do a little mix in the jerseys, so both teams will wear one Daddy School jersey and one Take-Out Tigers jersey. But the blonde guys, well, blonde plus blonde and a bit grayish, they are the Pieters, and then round hair and much with the little Smurf hat. They are Maan Rocks. Yellowstone is Maan Rocks.
This one is stronger, but too strong. No, Yellowstone's P². You just said Yellowstone's or Maan Rocks.
Yeah, I was confusing it. But the scoreboard's right, so on that extent, so that will still help. This is going to be so confusing. You already know we're going to make some slip-ups and mentioning stones teams.
100%. Now this one's going to be a little bit inside. That's going to tap the guard. It's going to open things up. Probably a little bit also on the light side. That's going to give Pieter a chance to draw something in. Maybe freeze up against it or even just start setting up another guard. So this is tall Pieter, just if you're not aware.
Yeah. Do you want to say that the other Pieter is a short Pieter?
No.
I wouldn't know who the shortest person on the sheet is today.
Mats.
yeah, he's trying to disguise it by wearing a very strange hat, but he's definitely the shortest. So Xavier joined us on stream.
Hi Xavier.
Congrats again with your win yesterday against SD Rocks, and now you get to watch a Group A game.
That one comes up a little bit light, and yeah, we're gonna see that the ice looks slow. I don't think it. They're changing now. They're discussing takeouts. Yes, this is takeout eligible now. Yeah, there are 5 stones in play, so this is, you may take this out, Andres.
Giving the stone some gentle wipes to make sure it's a good stone, not a bad stone. They're still discussing on what to do. I think they're discussing whether to take out or not, and Pieter's counting like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you can take out, but he was.
Yeah, once the second thrower from the first team goes, that it's takeouts are open. So
yeah. So assuming this is going to be a takeout then, but it doesn't seem to be that heavy. Are they going to take out their own high guard there?
I think they're gonna. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the plan was. I think it was a little bit outside. Looked like on the release. So
yeah, it's a weird stone.
To push their guard over. I think they were going to try to run it onto that yellow one, but yeah, not quite enough weight for a takeout there.
No. So now I think P², they are set up pretty nicely. I think they want to cover up one of those lines to get through the pin. Do they want to go for an extra point? I think if they put something in the house, in front of the house, close to the center line, should be a good spot.
Yeah, I think right there on the blue, just biting in the house. So if any takeout after wouldn't go in, I think that would be all right.
Still a pretty open house here. So Xavier, what's your prediction for this game? Do you have favorites? everybody should pick a favorite. That makes sports a lot more interesting. I know that Timo is more diplomatic. He always says, I like to see good stones. But it's more fun to root for a team. It's like with Eurozone. So this is curling a little bit too much, I think.
Yeah.
But the tap could open it up, but still it overcurls. It leaves the path to the center line open enough for Mats to squeeze a stone in there and reach the pin. And with all of the guards, that would be, I think, a good situation to set them up for a steal here.
Yeah, I think hack weight would be good.
Making sure there's no dirt on the stone. We had it a couple of times where players forgot to clean the stones, and there is a little bit of dirt sometimes on our sheets with the initiations going on. You don't want to be confronted with an unhappy surprise where stone picks up a small particle of dirt and then overcurls or drops that.
This one feels like it's a bit outside, so it's not going to curl enough.
Nope.
Matt's trying to sweep it over. That doesn't really do much there.
Nope. This goes outside.
Closed off the line again.
They have one stone in the house though, but not what they were hoping for.
I see. This will be interesting to see how Mats and Andres adjust. They both play leads. They generally throw a lot of guards, but the ice is quite slow, so you almost have to throw takeout weight to get back into the house, and that's not a shot that they do a lot. So will they be able to adjust?
Yeah. They also didn't play with a broom, and therefore it's harder to kind of evaluate their own stones. Was I off broom, and by how much? Is that something they might reconsider putting a broom, so at least they know they were off the broom and by how much? Because if you have to throw to the house and pick your own broom or your imaginary broom, it could be hard to kind of
to
pick a good line.
You know, are you online or are you just looking?
Because that's
the line,
important to have that information. Was it not curling because I was off broom, or was it because I was throwing too hard? You need that kind of information to adjust.
Ooh, Pieter already changing his mind in the hack, not getting. He didn't look very sure about the ice that he's giving himself.
I feel like this is also going to be a slow-paced game with a lot of thinking time.
Yeah.
Both teams also use this game as training, basically, for their regulars.
They're going to do the
hit and roll there.
Roll in.
This looks good. I need to sweep to get it a little deeper, but this is a very good stone there. Nice stone from Pieter. And, I mean, this is potentially one of those stones where we made a prediction P² might have the upper hand because Pieter is able to carry his team.
They have this option. Maan Rocks has this run back option, but it's a long run back.
They're looking at a run back.
That's what they're looking at. Their other option is coming from the side. And honestly, but this one is a little bit more straight. You don't have anything in front of it, so I think this one is probably the better option here.
Mats is getting supported by Pieter, their teammates, of course, and this is in terms of battle, a very open game where both teams rooting for each other, rooting for good stones.
Friendly rivalry. They want to see their friends do well, so it's terrible. It's it's awful. It's the worst thing that ever happened in sports. Thinks it's a bit outside. It's a lot outside.
This guy's going to slide through the house. And now that's going to be a draw for 3 points here for P². This is not the miss they wanted, nor the miss they needed.
Yeah, it seemed like that Mats kind of pulled it outside on his release, trying to turn it and just kind of pulled the handle a little bit. brought it outside, and with that weight, it was never going to get back. Looks wide enough. Yeah, they don't need to worry about the guards. They don't have to try to draw it in, but this one looks a little bit heavy.
I think it's too heavy.
Yep.
And it's definitely too heavy, yeah.
Yep. So 2 points for P² to start out. Not a bad start, but you know they would have liked to have that third point. It's when you've got such an open draw, you don't want to give it away. But starting it off with their hammer, scoring 2. Take the lead into the second end. They put pressure on Mats and Andres to play the right stone.
Yep.
And so that works out for him.
And this is also a little bit of intermediate time every time with the doubles where you have to set up the stones, set up the house. Also helps for people at home to get a sense of how much it curls by where they would put the guard stone. That's a rule in doubles.
I believe they had it on the 3rd position. 3rd or 4th. I can't quite see. We'll have to look at it next time coming back down. But here we go. Pieter to start us off in the second end. This one feels a little bit light. That's coming up short. Yeah, they're going to have to sweep this one. That's just going to tap up against the yellow guard. Doubles up the guard.
Tapping the guard is not the worst, but then you hope to split it and get rid of that guard. And now Maan Rocks, they have a double guard. This is in their favor, especially if they're able to put a second stone on the pin. That would give them a very strong opening here.
Yep.
Even with a hammer end. So still no broom for Maan Rocks. They still go with 2 sweepers and a timer.
Yep.
This seems like they waited too much to start and sweep here.
They've got to adjust to the ice quicker than this. They've got to be able to see, ooh, this isn't quite the speed. You know, maybe they're looking at it, strictly looking at their stopwatch and just going off that, and you realize that this ice changes, the different paths are different, so sometimes you just have to look at that. Still no broom, no comments.
Frank is joining in. Frank is probably also watching teammates Andres and also teammates Pieter.
This one feels light as well, a little bit wide. Yeah, this one's actually going to get down into the house.
They're gonna set open though, so it could be used as a hit and roll option. Although if it's deep enough, they would want to hit and roll. No, it's too deep.
Well, I think you could still use that as a hit and roll.
Yeah, true. But since it's so deep, you can still draw and draw behind the guards.
True, using that as a.
You would need to hit and roll
backing.
at this stage of the game. It's only if the draw option is away, then a hit and roll becomes your lifeline. But you would need that lifeline straight away here.
This is true.
Although for P², it gives them an option to take out redstone in case they can't reach it with a draw. Looking at the situation of the game as Andres is getting ready to throw his first stones. So
Yeah, Maan Rocks I think Andres is just going to try to use that stone as backing, just to give them something there. But they'd like to draw this one in. It seems to be okay on that. There it starts to curl.
and this is a good stone, maybe a little bit heavy since it's behind the T line, but other than that, you can make it work. Although if you're P², you would like the stone as well.
Yeah,
At least
yeah.
a
Now
pocket
there's
and a backing.
now there's a pocket and backing. Yeah, so.
I would So I don't know how much space they had around the guard, but then might have overswept it, or it was just a bit too hard. We will see if Pieter can put it on the pin.
Yeah. They had still quite a lot of space around the guard, so this one's similar.
This one's much
A little bit harder,
harder,
though,
yeah.
so this is actually going to hit onto the yellow. And rolls over.
It is
on
shot
top.
though, but
Is it shots?
I'm guessing it is.
Yes,
it's
it is.
full in the
Yeah.
red and has a little bit of margin, whereas the back
Yep.
redstone is completely on the edge of the red.
Yep.
But yeah, looking at the angle, they can still get it out and roll towards the center of the pin. That would be a good option here. Get it in there, yeah, like Match is showing. But do they have to look for difficult options, or can they just draw / hit and roll to?
Yeah, I think they draw. They can't. Where the positioning of that Yellowstone is, they can't really move it out without moving their own red. So, yeah, light tap is gonna be fine, but they don't need to try to do a full forced hit and roll. So 12 seconds hog to hog, Frank. Interesting. See how that translates. How these teams are working on that.
It's always nice to kind of time the hog times and have a sense of the speed and see if it evolves during the game, if it gets slower, and how the teams adjust if it does.
Yeah. This seems quite inside. Is that
Yeah,
going to
this
get
is
around?
too much inside. It'll overcurl, I'm afraid, unless it's hard enough. But still, I have the impression it's
No.
curling. Yes, it is. Unfortunately,
But it does open things up a little more over there.
that's true. But
yeah.
they're not sitting shot anymore, and now P² can start defending their position.
Yep.
And the stones they have in house are still behind the T line, so they're in a slightly weaker position. They can only be tapped in a worse position, basically. So P² is having the upper hand here so far in this end.
Pieter giving options, saying, hey, okay, let's guard it, but if it goes deep, then it will go in. So... trying to hear what it's saying, but it's not quite clear enough for me.
No.
I think the line is good on this one. It's just going to be about weight.
I think with Pieter sweeping, that's also an advantage. They have Pieter as one of the better sweepers in our club.
Yep. Ooh, that one's actually going to come up a little bit light, but not really a problem for them.
No.
I think that...
No, I think they also wanted to go for guard, but then it overcurls.
yeah, a little bit inside on the release.
Yeah, I think Maan Rocks can still use this stone, or that yellow stone, to do that tap and roll. Pieter pointing, that's probably what they're going to do, and that was what they were trying to avoid or trying to guard off. But yeah, the ice is still a bit on the slow end. We've known that for the entire week so far. The players that play the club championships past week, they took that information, and also yesterday we noticed that from the a game curling stones against SD Rocks, and we've experienced that this morning, so that should be information that's out there. This is good.
It's going to nose hit. But it does move that yellow out of the way. Still sitting shots.
Yeah, red shot right now. Their starting stone is still holding the fort, but now Pieter's looking for a run back.
What do you think, though? Was that the right call to play for a hit and roll, or would a draw
It was a
have
bit.
been better?
It was a bit hard for. I mean, you don't have to go that hard. Just a slight tap, roll to the pin.
Yeah, I think hack weight would have been
Hack weight
better.
or back weight. Just use that stone to have that little bit of roll. Just stone wide would have been enough to roll onto the pin behind the guards, and that would have put you in a very solid position. I think they just went with too much weight there. I'm gonna switch cameras to avoid earthquake slam of the door. Bam. That was a good call. Although we have to make sure don't make a bad earthquake punch with
No.
everything that's going on today. Last stone from the P² guys, the Pieters.
You look at Pieter. He's never sure about the shot.
No,
He's
all-
like, I don't know, maybe. This one seems light.
They need to
It's
sweep
not gonna
it.
get down there.
It's
It's
heavier
carrying
than
a bit. Looked, yeah.
It's not that light. It seems okay. It just doesn't fall enough. That's the thing. But it has the weight.
Ooh.
And now this is dangerous for him. Look at from this angle. Maan Rocks has two stones they can use to hit and roll. Both yellow stones are sitting on the edge of the house. It doesn't really matter which one is shot, I think. But well, if they hit and roll on that stone that Mats is pointing right now, they can score 2 points here.
Yep.
And that should be the obvious choice. Even they have to take out the yellow stone, use it to tap and roll, and take the 2 points.
Yep. Can they play the double? No.
No, I don't think so. And even if they played a double, they would still end up with 2 points. I don't know. Maybe they would score more than. But I think a tap and roll for 2 would be best revenue from the stone.
Yeah. Appears to be outside.
Way outside.
Now they got to be careful that it does knock that yellow one into a scoring position. And
Worst case scenario here.
nope, carries it
no,
out.
it's safe. They score 1 point, but that could have ended a lot worse.
That could have been disastrous.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So 1 point for Maan Rocks. Yeah, a little bit of a push on the release. You see Pieter saying that's what kind of kept the stone outside.
Yeah, it didn't need. Oh, one. It's not 1 point for Maan Rocks.
Oh, 1 point for...
Yeah, so it was a disaster stone after all.
No, because they were already sitting. They must have been that they were already sitting.
Yeah.
I guess they felt the yellow was closer
Yeah.
to the middle.
Therefore, it's good for teams out there to update their scoreboards. They have the best view on the game, and also they have the final call on those kind of close call decisions.
That is true. That is true.
Something we try to educate if you're on stream. Make sure you update the scoreboards.
What's doing?
I don't know.
Not the most practical way to throw a stone.
Yeah. I think his legs stopped working for just a second there.
Oh.
This is going to be a GIF. I sense it.
Yeah, Peter, they talked about it. They said that they were going to kind of use this a lot as training as well, and that Peter is going to be coaching Mats during the match as well. Hey, Timo.
Hey, Timo. Nice to have you on stream. We have Frank here as well. Thanks.
This one's gonna curl over. Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah. Splitting the guards, I keep saying it. That's not a bad thing to have in a doubles games. I mean, it looks like you miss your opportunity to put it on the pin, but if you miss it, then it's always nice to at least get rid of that guard. And they have switched positions here. I'm gonna update that just a sec. That's the hard thing with doubles. They can switch positions, but I'll make sure to update it.
This one is a bit heavy, so Andres throw his hands up in the air, but I think it's okay. He didn't seem to like it, but honestly, I think that's a good position.
Yeah. But if from our angle, it looks good. But if it's not what they called for, then you can still feel bad about your execution.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what they were looking to do.
Missed a goal there.
This does... No, still not a takeout yet, so that's not a bad stone. Because they can't do anything with it. Like, P² can't take it out, they can't run the doubles, so they have to... Yeah, they'll be okay with that. They'll be able to guard it, protect it.
I am still so glad that P², they have the same name, Peter, so every time they switch positions I don't have to do anything.
The worst would be is if they spelled Peter differently.
Oh yeah, like
you would have to.
We have Stefans that are spelled like this, Campina Stefan and the Greyduk Stefan and then the Vurie Stefan that are spelled
all three
different ways. Yeah. And then we have Steph from Ghent. That would be a nice team. And we have another Steph from the Black Ducks.
Yep.
That's why we can come up with nicknames that makes things a lot more easier. As of this morning, we have a new nickname possibly for Frank from Take-Out Tigers. We call him the Pope, because if you would watch him top down.
Oh, I thought it was Brother Frank.
Oh, Brother Frank. Brother Frank is maybe Brother Frank's better.
Give us enough time and we'll get nicknames for everyone.
Pope Franciscus. Yeah, at some point we're going to have a nickname for every player, but you have to earn your nickname. It's not something you get for free.
Oh, this one's going to be all right. It's going to tap that red one out of the way. Gets it behind the T line, leaves things open, puts the yellow right in the house, or something they can do with it. So now what do Maan Rocks do here? We have a nickname for some of the TV members.
The Team Vreka members. Let me think.
That guy. The other guy. The short guy.
Team was just trying to force us to say Team Vreka.
Yeah,
whereas that was a team we would never mention.
Well, that was only last season. Now we haven't seen them this season, though. They're bottom of the table right now, so
they're bottom of the table, so yeah. That's why we don't stream them anymore. Nobody cares about the rock bottom teams.
This one needs to get down there. He's trying to sweep it over, but he needs to worry about getting this over to the hog line.
Is it going to get over the hog line?
Yep.
Barely.
That'll be okay. It
serves as a guard.
Guards over that yellow, but that red is still wide open, so it's...
What are they guarding? And Andres is pointing and he would
Yeah, they
Wanted
wanted
it-
that over more. They wanted that. I think he was wide. They wanted that one over on the center line.
We're going to watch a big training session here as well with a lot of thinking time in between stones.
Oh yes. We were lightning quick in our match this morning. 1 hour and 50 minutes, I think, total broadcast time, and
And that was on slow ice. Just imagine what
yeah.
on normal ice we would have just kind of destroyed all of the timers.
But yeah, this one, slow ice with Pieter,
Yeah.
and it's a training session sort of for them. So
Pieter is known for considering every possible option out there and then carefully debating with himself. I'm going to go for option K or L, and what if option L puts us in a situation, and even if when he's ready to throw a stone, then he's
He's
still,
still got some more
not sure.
time, yeah.
Still,
yeah, if we ever decide to do a curling marathon, we'll have just a match between Pieter and Stefan van Dijk,
yeah.
and let them. And they'll let them spend a few hours thinking about shots. Well, that's the things, Timo. We overcompensated on some shots, and we're too hard. Ooh, he
And there's
gets
a
the
beautiful double. Gets right behind those guards there. Possible shot
Very
of the
nice
match.
stone.
You can note that down. And this is again the quality we expect and we hope to see
Yeah,
with
that,
having Pieter on the ice.
yeah, well-deserved high five on that one. That was a fantastic shot.
Now Mats is coming over like, hey Pieter, you can't do that.
Please,
I mean,
please don't do that.
my wife's watching.
Well, we don't know if she's actually watching, so
Yeah.
because I don't think she's here, is she?
I don't know. I think Pieter's wife.
Peter's
here?
wife is here. Yeah.
Karl is also here.
Good morning, Caro.
Good morning, Karl. Karl is.
I guess it's not morning anymore. It's 3 in the afternoon.
I'm gonna say good morning, Karl, because she's sick and she's probably just out of bed. She thinks it's morning.
Oh, there's Carla. Hello.
Ah, Carla, yes, she's watching. So we were right.
Yep.
We were right. We sensed it. So Carla, Mats is super proud of his curling bag. He mentioned that a lot of times that he got his curling bag, personalized curling bag as a present. If there's a birthday coming up and you have to figure out, should I buy Mats a new hat? Maybe that's also a very good idea for a nice present there. Unless Mats is super fan of the Smurfs, then you don't want to take away his current hat. But
Well, if he was a fan of the Smurfs, it would be white.
oh yeah, true.
He needs this one. I don't know what they want this one to do. I think this one was just a bit outside. And light, yeah. I don't think that's the stone they wanted there. I think they were trying to draw something in. Yeah, this is not something you see often in doubles matches where the opponents are discussing strategy with themselves and things in between. Andres has had enough. It's like, I'm out of here. Like, only the third end.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, that's nice.
Aw.
We are
Thank
Carol
you,
saying-
Caro.
we're the light of our day.
De zesde steen. Als er 5 in het huis is, in speel. Ja. Nee, het was genoeg. Het was genoeg gespeeld.
We're having a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
side conversation here. That's
Yeah.
Andres coming over
Sorry.
to the booths to ask about what are the rules of doubles. When can we take out? There was a small discussion apparently on the ice.
Yeah, no, there was already enough stones played, so yeah, it started with those 2 stones starting out there. Yeah, I should have muted.
Yeah. John always
Nobody-
forgets to mute. We have mute buttons here, but every time somebody just walks over, starts to talk to us, and then John is happy to reply, and then it's very confusing to know what's going on. But that was Andres
I-
checking in.
I just don't think Frank wanted to hear my bad Dutch.
Oh yeah. Alright. Is it going to curl enough? I think it will. You can even sweep it to get it in the house. Just in front of the house.
Yeah, I think
Get it in scoring position.
this one looks good.
No,
It's a guard. It's blocking that.
Yeah,
that
it's not in
gap,
the house.
so-
Just kind of biting the blue.
Yeah, it would have been better.
better.
Yeah, Frank, I think they just, when you don't play doubles often enough, you get confused with having those 2 stones in the that already started in play, and that those count towards everything. So yeah.
So, open. Mats wants it open. He wants to get rid of those stones. Yeah, still 2 stones in play. It's I kind of follow Mats' call here. They don't have that much options to do a safe draw, so why not make some room and then score with
Yeah.
your last stone?
Yeah, just
Get
send up
rid
the
of.
middle.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean the double's there. There's a pretty straightforward double there.
Question is which ones. I think they want to make sure what they're looking at here, which ones they want to take out.
Do they want to
Oh,
run back their own red,
that's
or
good.
do they just want to go do a double takeout using that
They're gonna run
center?
back.
Yeah,
They're gonna run back their own red. Okay.
seems like the more difficult option. Yeah, you can hear the Peters in the background discuss, well, we're just going to close it off. If they do that, we'll just put another guard, close it off. Oh, not the best slides.
Yeah, it's really trying to add some extra oomph to it. And that was unfortunate that it catches that one on the side. I think
Yeah.
if it would have been better if it had missed completely. The red, it would have caught the yellow. That could have done something to run back. But yeah, that's yeah, with the ice being so slow, if you're not used to throwing hard takeouts, then you have to suddenly step up your speed. You can see it'll throw you off balance. So
Yeah. Yeah, so it's straightforward center guard here for the Peters. Block it. They have 2 stones to protect. Could have had 3 stones if that 1 stone would have gotten a little bit deeper, but still they could be happy with 2 points there. Having a safe lead, 3 points, so every end they increase their lead. It's just putting them in a more comfortable position. Alright, we're getting ready for the stone. Here it comes. Nice release there. And now it's all about the weights. They're not sweeping, so either they feel it's fine or it's a bit on the hard side. Starting to clean. And since it's a bit hard, I think they might look to tap and promote that yellow stone. Could also be a good option. Put it in scoring position.
that's fine.
And
Yep.
that's perfect stone there.
Yep.
High five, well deserved.
There's still that gap if these guys want to try something, but it's not going to do much.
No.
It'll take 1 out. It won't do much.
So is there a way they can reach some sort of scoring position? It's hard to tell, and they at least should go for damage control, but basically that's not what you want. If you're 3 points behind and you have a hammer end, you want to at least win your end, but then again,
I think they could still draw around the open ice side. They can get it. Those guards are high enough above the house. That red and yellow stack, I think it's high enough above that they could still draw.
Yeah.
They only have to get about halfway into the red.
yeah, I feel like indeed here from this angle over the left side, so not the wall side, but the open ice side, that should get him past the guards and maybe end up somewhere in the red better than that yellow stone sitting on the edge of the red. Because what is taking out those guard stones going to give you, aside
Nothing.
from picking one out,
else against, yeah.
going from a 3-point house to a 2-point house?
Now I'm curious.
If it fails, they might even tap in an extra stone if it's not knows enough. So we're still looking at options to take stones out, opting not to go for a draw. I mean, even getting in the white using the open eyesight could be an easier way to take out a
Yeah.
third stone. They're looking for a difficult option, unless they're looking for double takeouts. That's also a possibility. Looking in that gap and trying to take out 2.
I don't think that. I don't think they're getting through that gap like that.
They decided to put a broom. Oh, not the best lighting there.
A little bit of a
Was,
wobble.
yeah, it was off balance.
It's gonna get through the gap. Maybe.
No, it's hitting
Nope,
the guard. It's hitting the
outside.
guards. And now the question is, do they tap in an extra one? No, they don't.
No.
But that's 3 points for P².
Yeah, yeah. I don't like that call there.
I don't think that was the best option there.
I think that the draw from the open eyes side would
It was
have.
an easier draw to maybe score a point, and if not, then give 1 or give 2. But and
Yeah.
it's also in terms of execution the easier stone to play.
Yeah, that takeout through the gap there was always going to be a tough one.
But again, that's what we said this morning. It's so much easier if you're in the booth. Then you can kind of consider all of the options and go for the easy options. But if you're on the ice, sometimes you have the urge to look for the difficult option. If you feel like it's difficult to score, the only way to get yourselves out of a difficult position is by playing a difficult stone, whereas that's not always the case, of course.
Yeah. We get to see with our different camera angles without the pressure of actually having to perform, without the adrenaline of playing in a match. So it's a lot easier from this side of the camera, but. Without getting brain freeze, yeah.
Well, I mean, Mats is not getting brain freeze. He has a very nice little hat there to avoid the brain freeze.
Okay, Pieter is going to start us off here in the 4th end as they lead 6-0 over Maan Rocks. Yeah, this morning it got, like, the first couple of ends were fine, and then suddenly my hands got very cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was better with the heating, indeed. I agree with you there, Frank. Maybe, Frank, if you can find a way to reach out to the people of the curling club board.
Ooh, just sneaked
Wow.
that one by.
And this has the right amount of weight.
Just
A little tap.
light
And
tap
this is how
there.
you want to open up a doubles of games.
Very nice stone there from Pieter.
Yeah. I think I hear Mats in the background being super impressed. And there's a stone coming from one of the other sheets.
Yeah, we have Viri here. They're here for three matches this weekend.
They switched again.
They're doing a little bit of training. This one feels significantly lighter than that last one. Unfortunately, that is going to come up short. Are they going to get that over the hog line? No.
I mean, they didn't had any kind of big ambition for the game. They're not playing for the points or the rank or the group or whatever. They were just playing for a fun game, to have fun on the ice and seeing this as training. But still, as you start playing, you still want to perform well. And you still play each end to win. And if you're kind of falling behind after 3 ends, takes away a bit of the fun, of course. Even though there's nothing at stake. or even though you don't want to have anything at stake, takes away some of the rewards.
I always feel like if you're going to go into a match, if you're going to play in a competitive competition, you should always play to win. Try to play your best. You know, be okay with losing if you lose, but try to play your best and always try to win. Because otherwise, yeah, you get this. You're not putting forth your best effort. You're not doing, and that has a mental effect. I think whether or not they're worried about it, I think there's that mental effect.
Yeah, that's what he said. I don't really per se want to win this game, but I want to have a good training session because I want to win the game tomorrow, where Daddy School is playing at Ramstein tomorrow morning. And if you have bad performance here, that could put you in a kind of less confident mental state, and you don't want to have that carried over tomorrow to the game.
He's going to just kiss the guard. So, yeah, just taking a peek at the overhead. That second yellow from P² is second shot. So they're lying 2 right now.
Mats is texting Carla, hey honey, I'm gonna be home a little bit earlier.
Can you come pick me up, sweetheart?
Yeah.
They're being mean to me.
They're saying, they're all giving comments about my hat. Can you please bring another one?
You're commenting about a hat. I haven't said anything about the hat.
That's true, that's true. I think it's a nice hat.
I just realized we have a 4th Daddy's Cool jacket on the ice. Top Gutzals is giving an initiation over on sheet A, so
to make it even more confusing. They're trying to find a way in between those stones to get it.
Okay, so you see the black box. Now, the 3rd line from the left. You see that little line there? Okay, you want to go 3 centimeters to the right of that. That's your line. That's your target. This one feels a bit on the outside. Not going to curl over very much. A little bit light, but hey, it sets up a guard.
It closes off opportunities for Maan Rocks to do something.
There,
yeah.
Yep.
They don't have to take big risks here. Just playing a solid game is good enough. Making it hard for Maan Rocks to try stuff.
The way I'm looking at these stones, they've got 2 options here. They try to tap that red one back, run that back into the house, or they try to run that yellow straight back as hard as they can and try to open it up a bit, try to get something out of the house, do some damage control.
Maan Rocks is taking a decision from this side of the sheets. Yeah, that's the only disadvantage from not putting a broom. For us, it's kind of hard to lip read and guess what are they aiming for, what are they trying to do. I think maybe they want to try and squeeze it in between the guards and over on the left side there and try to reach the pin, but we'll soon find out. As a nice fresh bit of fury are coming in. They've trained for their game, and here it comes. I think that was the call indeed. Get it in between those guards. And it looks wide.
It's a little bit wide, yeah. So, which will still open things up for them. Not exactly what they wanted, but it does open up that side again. So, and then they got their shooter over there at the corner guard that they can try to run back as well. So, not the intended stone, but there are still some options coming out of it.
So yeah, this is just another straightforward defending stone for P² now. They want to close off that line. I mean, that's something with strategy and curling. You're very open and transparent to the other team what your intentions are and what you're trying to do. So therefore, it's easier to counterplay, and I think that's what P² is going to do, counterplay that option. And it's also obvious to counterplay. I mean, the draw's still there now that those stones are gone. So they just need to put in another guards.
And yeah, they could even set something basically the same height as that second yellow, and yeah, they might be sitting 3 with some decent protection in front of the button. So this one feels a bit wide and heavy.
Yes, definitely too wide. That's for sure.
Not heavy. Okay, I was doing that this morning too. Things were looking heavy and then they stayed, but yeah, definitely not curling as much as it did this morning.
So they still leave it open for Maan Rocks to reach the pin there. I mean, not putting the guard there is just an invite for Maan Rocks to put it out there.
Yeah, this should just be a straightforward draw, right at the right on top of that yellow stone. It's wide open. He's looking to see if there's a way he can get 2.
Yeah, but
it's right
hard.
now they can't worry about that.
I mean, of course, if they can knock it out and it's going towards the back blue, then still the front stones, the front yellow stones are sitting better.
Yep.
So, in these kind of situations, you just want to try and win the end and use that as leisure to get back into the game.
Yeah.
And that would need a good LSD, a good draw shot. And it's
this one is outside. Is that going to curl over? Matt sweeping there doesn't do anything. No, a little bit heavy. It's just not curling out.
Yeah. And is it also a disadvantage of not putting your broom, because now you don't really have a sense of feedback.
Yeah.
Was I off broom? Was I on the broom? Because that's something you want to know. Did I just pick too much ice? Do I have to readjust the way where I put my broom? Or was the broom right and I was just off broom? That's something you need to know for your next stones, and by not putting the broom, you don't really have that information.
Yep. Yeah, you just don't know. Was it the release? You could have been sliding. It's like, yeah, I was right on it, but it's so easy when you're focusing, or all of the above. Yes.
Yeah, all of the above. Yeah.
It's like,
but at least that's something. If you're struggling and you need to find out what's going wrong and where you're making mistakes, that's where you have to collect information, as much objective information as you can to figure out a way out of the out of the trouble zone. So they don't really take advantage of Pieter missing that guard previously. And if P² is able to put a good guard this time, then they would have missed their shot to win this end.
This one's a bit... It's going to get over the hog.
Yeah.
But
the weight's fine.
There, because it starts to curl over, but I still think there's a gap there.
There is a gap, but still you need a little bit of curl to get to the pin, right? If the gap is small, it's at least making it difficult.
It's more difficult, yeah.
So Andres is going to take a look. Maybe put his broom this time, but yeah, it's also easier if you have to kind of discuss options to just stand in the house and make your choice there, and then once you decided, move over to the hack and then throw your stone, and trying to figure out what you're gonna play from the hack sides. But yeah, I think a good decision to put a broom.
Yeah, and Frank's saying there's very little curl on that side. Yeah, that's what we've seen. It's just been fairly straight, so wish can kind of squeeze that. This one's outside.
Yeah, it's gonna hit the guard. It's going straight for the guard there. And luckily they don't tap in another yellow stone.
Yeah.
But this is going to be, I think, 2 points for yellow here.
2 for yellow.
I'm still hoping that Andres and Mats win an end, just for kind of the fun of the game and to make it a little bit exciting. You don't want to have a score where one team ends up with 0 wins, 0 and 0 stones.
Yeah. I think it'd just be good for them mentally too. It's like, okay, we figured it out. We got something to go our way.
They're going to take a little break here. At least Mats is. And now we're going to see Pieter's special sliding.
I swear he's practicing that for something. I don't know why, but he seems like he's trying to do it.
I think it's an alternative way to stretch his legs.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
That's what I'm guessing too. It's stretching his legs and back somehow.
It looks funny on camera.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
You look like a baby seal when you're trying to slide stones like that. It's kind of cute as well.
We should mark that and use it for TikTok or...
Yeah. This is clearing the house. Preparing for end number 5. Something tells me we're not going to see 8 ends in this game. I think Annemiek will be happy because I have to make sure I get home in time. Because we have to make the switch. I have to go home. And she has to come back because she has an important Huskies game tonight and she cannot miss that game.
Yep. Pieter, the baby seal. If we could just get him to make the sound, it'll be perfect.
Yeah. But a seal could be a nice nickname. Then you can make puns like, oh, the seal sealed the deal.
Oh. Why do you do this to me, Frank? Why do you do this to me? I'm not going to mute him. I'm going to let him make his bad puns so you guys can hear him. If I have to hear him, you have to hear him.
Well, I'm engaged. Annemiek said yes. I have nothing to lose. Don't have to worry about my reputation. I'm in the perfect spot where I sealed the deal. She said yes.
Well, you have the baby. The engagement is easy to call off, but you have the baby in the house, so that's different.
I have a baby seal at home. All right, so a little bit of a debriefing there over at the scoreboard sides.
Pieter needs to talk louder so we can hear him.
Trying to overhear. It's hard.
Now, see, if we had the focused microphones, 100% could be hearing what they were saying.
Yeah. So if you're in chat and you're extremely curious to know what these guys are saying, you can donate a focused microphone.
Yep.
Help us out here.
Parabolic microphone. We're going to set up a Patreon or a GoFundMe or a Tiltify or whatever it takes.
I think the answer is yes to that question.
Whatever Andres is saying.
He's probably right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's true. It's very much true. Although, I don't know. Maybe, possibly yes, possibly no. Who knows? Yeah, we're trying to make up conversations since we don't really get to hear. But it's not like in our game where we were wearing mics. You could hear us.
Well, we couldn't hear me for most of the match. The microphone accidentally got shut off. So
yeah. So we're waiting for the daddies to get back on the ice.
They give you a pack of fries this big. It's amazing. I can't finish it. What is this ridiculous? I can't eat all of that. What am I supposed to do with all of this? All right, Matt's coming back out onto the ice. I think Andres and Pieter have an agreement on frites.
Yeah. What are you going to have for dinner? I don't know. It depends on what my wife's cooking tonight. Well, maybe she used to text her. If it's spaghetti again, then we're gonna say this game took very long. But yeah,
Alright,
the
so
daddies are back.
they're ready to get started. Eventually.
Stones are in place.
See, if you chop up the onions like this, it tastes so much better. Okay, intermission is over. Let's start end number 5. Peter starting us off here.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure it's Peter.
Okay.
Might be Peter. A little bit of sweeping and cleaning. Now they're putting a little more weight into it, trying to get this one down. And this one is going to come up just shy of the house.
Which gives Mats a good opportunity to put one on the pin and put on the pressure.
Trying to get that sweep coming up a little bit light. The line looked pretty good.
Yeah. They're hitting their brooms. And this one was too short.
It's in a usable position. But yeah, they're struggling with getting the right weight. The heavier weight stuff to get to the house, they're just it's been hard for them today.
Sometimes you have those days where you just don't find the weight. I think we've seen that this week at the club championships. Yesterday evening we saw that with SD Rocks, where normally that's on paper very good team, but they had troubles finding the right weights. It's one of those days, one of those nights, and if the ice is a bit slow, then your normal T-line weight is totally different. Trying to promote it, has a good angle, but is going to no, not a good angle. No.
Just missed off the angle, a little bit over curled, pushed it back. But they can always try it again. So now I think that's what Maan Rocks needs to do here with their own red. Try to tap that one back. Yeah, some people like the onions cut straight, but I like mine a little bit on the diagonal.
So, what was the call? Or what do you think the call is here? Are they trying to run back one of the stones?
I think so. It doesn't look heavy enough. Or maybe it is, and I'm wrong.
We'll soon find out. It thinks it looks wide to me.
It's a little bit wide. No, but it's going to curl over. It doesn't have to get right onto the pin. It just has to get back into the house, and that's not a bad stone.
Yeah, it's a bit too deep. If it would stop a bit earlier, then you would take away run back options for those yellow stones.
Yeah. But they did get a second one in the house in scoring position. There is the draw opening for the draw there as well. It looks like I saw Peter kind of indicating that with his hand. So. one's just about the weight. I think the line looks pretty good.
This looks good. The question is, will it fall enough? Weight looks fine. No, it's too heavy then.
No, that's just fine. Very nice stone. I mean, yeah, sure, could have been a little bit more inside, but
Yeah,
not bad, yeah.
I think he pushed it. That's at least what he's indicating here.
Still think it's a good stone.
Yeah, but we know Pieter is it's either perfect or it's not a good stone,
Yeah.
and therefore this was not a perfect stone.
It's terrible, Pieter. You should be ashamed. Just give up the game. You've lost all your skills. That's what's going through Pieter's head.
Well, it gives Maan Rocks still some options to put some extra stones in there and try to find at least a win in this end, and maybe even some additional points. They could use some points.
Yeah, we need this draw. It needs to curl.
This seems heavier than the one before, so this is not a
Yeah.
draw weight. Definitely not. This is a back weight, hack weight. And it leaves P² in a shot position now.
Yeah.
So not the draw you're looking for.
I didn't hate the weight on that one, but yeah, it was just outside. They needed that because they wanted, if with that kind of weight, if they get onto the inside edge of the yellow stone, it would have kicked it out. Would have still stayed pretty much in the red. So it would have been a good. It would have been a good result for them. But yeah, just keeping it outside, it just had the unfortunate thing to kick their red further away. They are still second, third, and fourth shot, but it's quite open there for P² to put in a guard and kind of protect this as well. That's all they want to make sure they do is keep that that shot stone protected.
Pieter indicating he gave a little push, I think. But now we have to sweep for the line. Starts to fall. It's not that heavy.
That's gonna be.
Oh,
Just ticks the guard. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think it was a good call from Pieter to say it was important to sweep for the line, but maybe just a split second too late.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe could have. Yeah. Maybe could have held that one around, or just a lighter glance off the stone.
Now, back over at Maan Rocks to put a good stone here. And if you're Maan Rocks, what is going to be your next move here? Seems like they're going for a takeout.
Yeah, they've got to try to run this double.
Yeah.
It'll give them a shot at scoring multiple points, honestly, because I think it can leave them with. Yeah, that's pretty much their only option here is this double.
Oh, bit off balance with the slide. So then the question is it going to be on the broom or not? I think Mats is indicating it's outside, and I think it is, and it's well, not a little outside. It's a lot outside, like half a meter. Takes out their own stones here.
Technically, it's a double.
Yeah, it's a double. That's
technically correct. It's the best kind of correct. But yeah, not what they're looking for.
No.
You know, this is what you see when you get two leads who don't throw a weight often. Andres, if you read this, don't look down when coming out of the hack. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so another stone for P². They are sitting 1, but they have options to come over to the left side. They have so much options to just increase their position. Do they want to put a guard? Do they want to hit and roll and put another stone into the house?
I think they're gonna try to draw it. If I heard Pieter correctly coming in, just like T-line. So just try to draw it around. I think they've got plenty of room in front of the guards to come around.
Yeah, a good.
Well, it's not going to
heavy,
curl
so the question
over.
is, can they now tap it?
That's also an option.
And that's a good option. Tap it on the pin there. That's also a way to do it. And it's sitting shut.
And it's not doubleable.
No.
Not from there. They can't get enough on that.
That's a pretty lucky way to make to get value out of the stone, basically. So yeah, it's back to Maan Rocks to figure out how they could try and save the day. They could still go for takeout, stay shot, but then the shooter has to stay close to the pin.
Yep.
Can't roll out, because if it rolls out and it's edge of the red or rolls out of the red, then they would lose the point.
Yeah, the way they're setting up, are they setting up for too much weight? Pieter giving him an example like how they could possibly get both out, but I don't know if they can necessarily. It might jam on that red back there. It might be okay. This would be where if I had my telestrator, I'd start.
Right.
A little bit outside. Is this going to curl over enough to at least get one of them? It does
They
get
get
that
one of
back
them.
one, yeah.
But this is the 1 again for P².
Yep.
It's getting hard for them get back in the game. It doesn't help if you miss your stones, of course. You can have the best choices. Your choice making can be good, but
yeah, you still got to execute.
You still have to execute, and that takeout where Andres missed by over half a meter, those stones, they really hurt. They don't help you at all. (0-9), so I think P² basically has this game. I don't see Maan Rocks doing a miraculous comeback.
I hope so, but yeah, we're gonna need to see, I think, at least a 4-end for them to try to stick this one out.
Yeah, basically that if you're Maan Rocks, kind of forget about the scoreboard, forget about the game, and just see the remainder of the game as a kind of mini game.
Yeah.
Pretend it's 0-0 and you have a new opportunity or a new attempt.
Yeah, just try to play each end. Try to play each end as its own little mini game. Just try to win the end. All right, so here is Pieter to start us off in the 6th.
Is this too light?
Yeah, this one's gonna curl over.
And sweep it. Maybe you can tap through or split the guards.
Yeah, it's gonna tap this one into the house.
So that was too light. I mean, that was an attempt for the pin, and that was definitely not on the pin. By Pieter standards, that was
It's
The mist.
terrible.
Yeah. Looking at Andres' light now. Well, it was an early morning for John.
Sorry if you guys are hearing that. I keep forgetting to mute. I don't have a mute button right here on my thing. I'm gonna make a mute button on my
You
little
have a mute
clicker.
button like within finger reach right in front of you.
But I have to remember to reach over and look at it. So.
Yeah.
So that one comes up a little bit short. Well, a lot short, let's be honest.
No comments.
Seems like he's pulled the hat down just a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
Not feeling so perky.
Second attempt for P² to put one on the pin. Third attempt of this game.
No, second attempt at this end.
Oh yeah, end game. I keep switching around ends and games.
That one did not curl very much at all.
Even the magic spells didn't work.
Wanted that one a little bit higher. Honestly, you think they would have wanted that one a little bit deeper if it wasn't going to stop, because now it's...
Now they can use
Maan
it.
Rocks can use it as a...
Yeah, as soon as you
Oh,
know
no, they can't.
they can't yet. Well, they can't take it out. They can use it to...
Wait. Well, yes, they can. Yes, they can.
Oh yeah, they can.
5 stones in play.
Yep. They...
This one going to curl over.
Widen.
There it goes.
It's a bit too light. Either had to be wide and heavy enough. And they waited a bit too long for the sweep there.
Yeah,
But
comes up light. They weren't. It wasn't clear if they were trying to play for that tap and roll, or if they were playing for a draw, because those are both 2 different shots, and so you have to. Seems like it was not quite either of them.
no, it had the broom for a tap and roll, but that had the weight for a draw. So it was kind of none of both options.
Yeah.
For some reason. Yeah, we get a WhatsApp from Chris van Rosmalen. He is monitoring an escape game, but he's also watching our curling stream with little snaps there. So, hi Chris, hope you like the game so far. And I hope the escape room goes well. Yeah, it's always I always like it when our fans that are watching the game send pictures of their home situation. Yeah, I'm also always curious, like, in what setting are they using? Are they watching the game? Do they?
Yeah.
Are they sitting at their
nice.
couch watching the TV with a banana? Are they sitting in front of their computer? Do they watch it secretly on the toilet because nobody in the family wants to know? I don't know. It's always a mystery. I'm always curious.
I don't want any pictures of you on the toilet watching chat. Just let me just be clear about that. I believe that one's actually, yep, that one's sitting 4th shot. So red's still with 1 point on the board, but trying to look to score. Or as it lies, not on the board. As it lies, they have 1. I think maybe the best option. Look at what Andres is doing here. It looks like they're going to try to draw. Or tap. I don't know. Honestly, I can't tell. They're giving us a broom, but it's...
Seems like a pretty heavy stone, so that would mean tap and roll in. Are they trying to run back their stone?
Maybe? This looks like it might be just a little bit... No, it's going to be okay. Is it going to tap it over too much?
No, it's in the red,
gonna
no?
be fine. Good stone
They're
there.
sitting 2. Yeah, Andres is happy. So my guess is this was their call, trying to tap it in.
Yeah, good stone there.
Yeah. And little fist bump there, just off camera. So confirmed this was the call.
They've got a good. Now looking at the situation here for P², they've got the hit and roll possibility to come in. That Yellowstone sitting right on the T line, so that should be able to roll over.
Yeah, there's still a pocket. There's still an open pin and a draw side. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I think this one's a bit inside.
Yeah, immediate sweeping from Pieter there. And this is inside. And with the weight...
light, yeah. That's not going to have enough to tap that yellow all the way through. But if it taps on that
Yeah,
inside
you don't want
edge,
to close the gaps because you need to get to the pin at some point.
well, they could be playing just to... Oh, no, I guess they're sitting 2 now. I was going to say force 1, but no, it's...
You also got a picture on the set from Persik the Peach. He's watching on his laptop.
Well, he's doing his laser coding, I bet.
I have
Coding of
no
his
idea what
laser?
he's doing. Something with codes. I think he's trying to hack the government. Reach the Pentagon, something like that. I don't know.
Oh, it's a bit outside. Stone did not match his line, but... Is this going to curl over? Gets rid of the yellow one, but it hits on the nose, so it's over and exposed, and now...
Can we see a possible hit and roll for P² at this point?
more curling than advancing through the Kotlin tutorials. Yeah, I can imagine that.
And we're just looking back at the scoreboards. How can we score 10 points in 3 ends? Pieter says, well, by putting a stone right there and then do the same with your other 9 stones. There it is. That's your 10 stone advantage, unless...
Now,
Yeah,
for me, this I'm not sure why they're looking at this one, other than hey, we've got this big lead. Let's try something crazy.
Yeah, I think it is. I think at this point, knowing how Pieter takes these games, he's like, right, it's training. We do this as training. We're leading comfortably. We're not going to lose that game. So why not just try to do the difficult stones? And we all know Pieter likes to throw some difficult stones. That's he wants the challenge. It's more rewarding also if you kind of nail a very difficult stone. And everybody knows there is something called shot of the match. It's a very important reputation thing. There's a wall of fame on our YouTube channel, and everybody wants to have at least a candidate entered for the shot of the match competition.
He wants that coveted hashtag.
Yeah. Pieter confirming, hey, you know it's difficult, right? But then no second guesses for the other Pieter. This is where he's very confident. Yep, I know, and I'm going to execute. Immediate sweeping there to hold the line.
I think it's too wide.
Yep, this is not shot of the match, unfortunately.
Nope. An effort was made. So now opportunity here for Mats and Andres. Draw for 4.
Yeah, this could be their big game or their big end here. Correct myself. So they are already sitting 3. They're not going to finish the game with 0 points. That's the most important takeaway so far. And with 4 points, they come back 9-4, and who knows?
Curling fails. I don't want everybody to hate me if I start putting out everybody's bad shots, but then again, it should be a spectacular fail.
Yeah.
I definitely need to get some of the shots and put them as more like, the lucky shots and
Yeah.
not necessarily shot of the match.
The funny fails are the ones where something completely unexpected happens and the other team suddenly comes into shot position and nobody expected that, and everybody looks at the game like, or at the end like, huh, what the hell happened? How was this possible? Those are the nice fails.
This is heavy. Are they gonna tap their own stone out?
They have
need to-
backing, but they at least want to make sure they don't tap out their yellow or their redstone. Won't happen.
No, that's good. Okay.
That's good. And that
So big four for Maan Rocks there.
Yeah, they needed the moral boost there.
Yeah. Keeps the match alive. I think they're going to continue on into the 7th.
It keeps the match alive, and it keeps the mats alive.
Somebody help me, please. Anamik, come and get him.
Anamik's used to my bad jokes.
Yeah. She can have them.
Oh, here's
There's the seal.
Yeah, there's the seal. Round of applause.
Now he just needs to balance a beach ball on his nose.
So, well, no early handshakes there because they're still in this game. The P² is leading by 5 stones. It's pretty difficult to make a comeback, but who knows? So, I mean,
they're going to have to steal out, and that's going to be the interesting challenge. So,
on paper, hypothetically, they can still win 12-9.
yeah, they're still not really getting that weight right.
No, and that's an important takeaway. Like at this point in the game, you're trying to figure out T-line weights, and this is not getting in the house there.
Nope, comes up short. Line was good, just needed more pace, and they should know. I mean, since they've had the clock, the timer sitting next to them the entire time, they should know what
Yeah, they
speed
spent
they need.
Quite a lot of effort trying to get the times and the timers from the game. They opted that over putting a broom.
Nope, this one's also light. This is gonna curl over and tap onto the guard there. Doesn't really split things open. I'm just coming to take a look to see where the stones are. What's their best option? Yep, it's definitely the open ice side.
And still doubting, but there's one side is clearly easier than the other. I'd imagine. So, Karl says compared to last year, it's pretty much okay. I think she's talking about the speed of the ice. Did we had so slow ice last year? We had some periods where it was very slow.
We had some, but not overall. I find this week it's been particularly slow. It's been slower than it has in the last couple of months.
This one is wide, and this is one of those stones where maybe you want to sweep it just where it's safe and P² can't use it to do a hit and roll. But still, that was too deep and too wide.
Yeah.
Oh, she was answering to Frank. Yep.
Is this one gonna get around that guard? Looks okay. Gotta keep sweeping it though, just to make sure. Now let it curl over.
Nicely passing the guard there. And now sweep it. Well, you don't have to sweep that hard. I think it
that's
sits
perfect.
beautifully there. Oh, just biting the T-line. Perfect.
Very nice stone.
This is very well executed. Just sneaking past that guard and just creeps straight to the T-line. I mean, in terms of execution, well executed. That will be at least a 3 out of 4. Oh, that's a 4 out of 4. I was
That's
just
gotta
joking.
be a 4.
Yeah,
It's like, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm like, I guess so.
I was messing with your mind. It was a 4 out of 4, obviously. I was looking over at John when I was making that one, and he was like, yeah, maybe, but I don't know.
I'm not sure I would give it that low, score it that low, but
Where is it?
it's outside, yeah.
Now they don't have the hammer, and yellow is sitting 2, and there are already 3 guards in the center of the house. Well, a corner guard is not that bad. You can use it to run back some stones.
Yeah, you don't have that many stones to go for, so.
No, they have 2 stones left after this.
I think that. Yeah, I think we're gonna see P² come around the wall side, try to get behind those red guards. I mean, they still think they could get to a scoring position, but they don't really need to. Just put up something that would cover up that that route. But Pieter has his handle turned the other way, so hashtag John's wrong.
Well, I think we can safely say that Pieter is actually able to carry his team with good stones and also good decision
Oh, look
making.
at this one.
Check this out. Oh!
Oh.
Well, this is John of the match, John. Look at that. And there's 3 points.
That was.
And this is the carry, the master.
That was a pretty nice stone.
Very
there,
nice there, yeah. I'm calling this shot of the match.
But he did touch the top one, so it's
it's
not
yeah,
perfect.
3 out of 4. But yeah, but the gap was so much closer.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
look
was,
at Peter's smile, like, hey, check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're happy with the stone, and I can imagine why.
Yeah, and even where it ended up over on that other side, that just makes it takes out any chance for Maan Rocks to come at the pin from over there. There's not enough space to take out, so they're gonna have to run this back. And that red stone back there at the back of the red is still kind of gonna hold it in place.
Not checking if he's all lined up nice. Bounce slides, good release. Oh, now it's wait and see.
No, it's outside.
Was it outside? I didn't.
He's got his lineup, and I've noticed his last couple of slides, he gets everything in line, and then as he's going forward, he's still pushing off towards the outside.
Yeah, because this was indeed pretty much
Yeah.
off broom.
Yeah, he's bringing the stone back and then kind of out, and his body is following it instead of back and forth in a straight line. At least on his last couple of throws that I've noticed. And once you put weight behind it, there's no coming back. So is Pieter going to try to squeeze one through there again? The gap is slightly larger now.
And he has the muscle memory. It's the same stone as the 2 other stones, so
Looks like he's coming that way.
can we see another possible perfect execution? Pieter jumping into sweep there. The gap is so small, which makes it even prettier if it squeezes in between. It's needs to fall though. It'll. Oh yeah, it's in between. Whoop! Oh my god! And there is another perfect execution, another shot of the. He has a kind of triple shot of the match situation here. Now they are sitting 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Piece quiet.
Very nice stone. Really can't argue with that.
And this is what do you do against a player that is playing so well?
Yep.
I mean,
not much. It really isn't. I mean, sometimes you just come against somebody who is. Yeah, I like that one better. But technically, Frank, though, he moved the guard over on the last one.
yeah. So the gap was bigger,
great.
therefore
Yeah.
it was much easier.
It's too much easier. Yeah, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to lose.
And there is shake hands. I mean, they're not even gonna throw the last stones. I mean, Mats is giving up.
There isn't much they can do, to be honest.
Yeah. They're not even finishing the ends. Which will avoid the big house. They will remain 9-4 instead of 13-4 in that case.
Have they done that? Yep. Up goes the X, and
there's the X. There's the shakes, and we leave the ice with a victory for Pi² and an extended losing streak for Maan Rocks. They have a losing streak. 5 games in a row.
All right. They've shaken hands. I think Andres just wants to throw a stone just for the sake of throwing a stone. To
yeah,
try
he wants
it
to
out.
show. Yeah, there's an option. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna quickly.
I'm kind of see. Let's see what his options are. I don't think there's much there to. Even running stuff back into the house isn't going to do very much.
Well.
So let's see where he's.
Imagine if this is an incredible perfect stone, but it doesn't count as shot of the match because technically the match is over.
Yep. That giant X on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give him at least the credits of taping the stone, so it's on camera if they make the shot.
This one's gonna be not too bad, honestly.
Well. It reduces the damage.
Still 3.
Still 3, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, technically it was possible, but it wouldn't have changed that much, even in a game where you didn't have a...
Oh, they're going to throw their last stones. They're going to play this end out, but yeah, just for
the sake of kind of finishing the end. You want to kind of know how this end would have turned out if hands were not shaken. But yeah, I mean, we've expected a victory for Pi². Andres was estimating 60% win for Pi² over 40% chance of winning for Maan Rocks, but I think Pi² is definitely stronger and
yeah, they proved it today. They were Pieter was able to.
Pieter can really make a difference.
Yeah, and
I think the last stand just kind of proved that point. So quickly hopping over to the booth. Right, I was trying to say to John, you can take off your glasses if there's something you want to do.
I've been leaving my glasses on.
Okay,
I just kind of tilt my head down a little bit so the glare isn't in the way.
Yeah. So yeah,
because otherwise I'm squinting at everything.
I'm just looking at the clock. Annemiek, I'm going to go straight home after this. But a quick recap of the game, John. Pi² won. It was a bit of expected, but they were way more dominant than I expected they were. They gave away a 4 house, but at that stage of the game, they could take some risk. I remember Pieter trying for a hero shot. They wouldn't have done that in a normal situation, but still, expected win, well-deserved win for Pi² and Maan Rocks. Still at the bottom of the league with 5 losses in a row. What's your take on the game?
Yeah, it was a real struggle for Maan Rocks. They just really didn't adjust to the ice, the conditions. It was a little bit slow for them, and they were struggling to have to that up weight for what they normally throw, and just wasn't working for them. So they've got some work to do. I think that's something they can work on. That's one of the things that Team Vareka does, is like every position is swappable. Every person can play every position. So you kind of have to learn to throw all of those shots, and I think that's important. I think it's something to learn. But for Mats, it's still early in his career. I don't even think he's got a year or barely over a year playing. So there's time to learn it. He just has to put in some work. Yeah, Andres, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes it's you see good stones like that last one there, but it was already after the match was over. So is that pressure of that psychology of playing in a match, does that put pressure on him? I don't know. That's
Yeah.
something that he's gonna have to work out.
Yeah, because we've seen a couple of misses, but not just kind of little misses, also big misses like takeout that was off by half a meter or more, or shots that were way too short, and therefore you can't really use them for a plan B or a plan C. You just have to watch and see how you can't use the stone anymore. That was a little bit of the trend for the game for Maan Rocks, where they were struggling with the ice, and slow ice is a disadvantage for a team, and that just was the case for Maan Rocks in this game. They really struggled with the slow ice.
Yep. Yeah, there's not much else to say, really. Tip of the hat to P². They really played well. They really played the shots they had to. Peter hit some incredible shots. I'm not going to say which Peter. One of the
Yeah.
Peters hit it, but
Well,
So-
at least if you kind of mix up the names, people won't know which
Yeah,
of the
they
match.
won't know what's going on. And I do have to get the family names right, so
Yeah.
we'll figure that out. But that's going to be it for us this afternoon. No match, no broadcast tonight, but we will be back tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. We're going to have our French team, Viry, against
Steengoed,
Steengoed. So
yeah.
that should be a really good matchup.
Sunday prime time, A division game, Steengoed against Viry. Newcomers in the A division performed very well in the B division last year, and they also performed strong in the A division so far. I'm curious to see how they will face the tradition team, Steengoed, one of the most experienced team in Belgium curling league and in Belgium curling in general, very experienced team. That's up for tomorrow. And in the meanwhile, if you want to stay in touch with our schedule, our content, updates. We have lots of social media. So we have obviously YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. John's
For the
mostly on
dancing.
TikTok for the dancing, yeah. Maybe we have some special seal moves for TikTok. Who knows? I'm going to keep that as a surprise.
All right.
We'll see. But
So-
you can do the closing word, John.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.